Hi, so this is my weekly recap. So this week was weird if we talk about writing itself. So usually I claim that I don't have, didn't write much, that I didn't write at all in my previous videos, but this week I did write, and I actually made a separate video where I write for 2 hours. Of course, I sped the video up. The video is 15 minutes long. No talking, just I just sit and I write. So I was writing for 2 hours. I realized a huge thing, and I believe that I did a huge mistake, and that's why I was writing so slow, because I just noticed that I was losing connection with my book, and despite me thinking about it constantly, I noticed that if I don't actually write, I lose connection with it, and it's hard to write generally, because I get I lost the connection with my own writing, with my own writing voice and how I write. At the beginning, if you notice, I laugh because, first thing, of course, I was uncomfortable. What am I doing? What am I supposed to do? So I just sat and wrote. No acting, no speaking, just writing. Yes, my breakdowns were also not acting. They were pure process of writing. And the second thing is because I had no idea from where should I start, because I had this. I've written myself in a dead end. I had no idea where should I continue. It all felt, and I didn't know. Okay, I have that idea. I know what comes scene after, but I have no idea how do I come to that. What should I do? So, frankly enough, I forgot how I did it before. So that was weird, and of course with college and studying, exams coming, I don't have time to fully dissolve in the writing process. It felt like if I have time, I mostly did editing, and that's actually what I did at the beginning when I only started writing. I wasn't actually writing, I was editing my previous chapters. That's what I did actually for the main part of it. I started writing only when I had 4 minutes left. I wrote you can count it as page. It took me 2 hours to actually start writing a new thing and not just editing it. So that was terrifying. I did not like the idea of that. I don't know, I just trusted the flow. I don't know. I mean, there are people who plot the smallest details. I can't. That's mostly how my book feels. I don't plot anything. I don't know what my character will respond. I can be sitting just wow, you decided to say that. So that's mostly what I was doing in that video. It felt weird, but definitely productive. Here I am again. I am editing. I was editing, I can see that. So anyway, that was an intro. In the end, yesterday, I unlocked a new feeling when I was writing, and I would like to share with it. So if you watch till the end, you might know what actually was the new opening of this week for me. It's not completely that I didn't knew that it happens. I just never expected it would happen to me and in this way. Okay, so my word count is 35,000 words. I think it got less once again. I did some world building actually. And so in that video, it started like this. I was looking through my diary, and I realized I still didn't name one, not really like a profession, and I didn't name it. And I can't name it. I was thinking about it, I couldn't name it. I didn't find a way, nothing sounded right and or made sense in my perspective. I mean, I didn't find a name, so I thought, well, fine, I don't have a name right now. I'm skipping to that scene which I see right now. I started writing that scene, and in some odd, unexplainable way, and I ended up back to that profession which I didn't name. So yes, I did name them. It was weird because I mean there is second where like they are at some point connected, yet they aren't connected in any way. I mentioned them in my previous videos. So okay, so Metatrons and Inventor Mund, they share the same page. As I said in my previous one of my previous videos, Metatrons are like the historians. They remember things, they fixate them, and the Inventor Mood in some point are the simplest explanation is scientists, but of course they aren't just simply scientists, but that's the closest thing. That's the thing I did like right at the moment, so I written it down. Also, so I was writing chapter 12 and 13. I was thinking about it yesterday a lot because I didn't put the stakes. Why my one of my main character actually does the thing that character does. I mean, that character is like dangerously intelligent, but I didn't put like the stakes. Oh, so anyway, the main thing I did this week and like that intend to do, like okay, there's no way I can explain it. So you probably remember all that my map plot I did. Yeah, I will no longer follow it. Doesn't work. I can't just for some, like I said in my previous weekly recap, there is something wrong with it because I can't follow it. It doesn't do the thing. So I did like the checklist of things I should do because I forget about them, and even here I forgot about them. So there are countless of things I need to fix, and writing it down, I mean it does help because I can see it now. Some things I actually already did, which is two things, small things like research. Okay, so anyway, plot. I started with plot. So I realized this plot doesn't work. So I crossed it. I will reshape my plot. And the main question, I don't know if it's right, but I got the question, what do I want for my characters to realize at the end? Also, I mentioned that I did this like holidays in the empire, like separate kingdoms, all. Also, I did a lot of plot things in my mind. Also, the great things which I cannot share with, in hope that you will find out about those things while reading the book. Like that holidays and every 7 kingdom, not counting the empire, has this like which is almost like a holidays. They aren't really holidays, but empire like inculcates. That's not the exact word, but it will do. Like the empire inculcates that it's a holiday, which is it's not really a holiday. It has a different subcontext, which is convenient for the empire. I had for the one of my kingdoms, more wallet, I already written down the Domino Vernalis holiday. Then I had different one for Decidia Mortem, my second kingdom. Still, I haven't written it in my diary for some reason. I forget it all the time. And this time I actually, I still also haven't written it down in Ira Mortis, so third kingdom. This week I like fully saw the third like holiday. It's not really. It's almost like a ritual, holiday ritual, and yes. Also, the main thing I realized that I cannot push it away this long because, in one hand, I feel like I'm doing a lot of unnecessary world building. I don't know. I haven't heard different creators talking about it. I mean, there are, like yesterday I saw a video, one person, he claims that it's not a big deal if, for example, there's like, he called it a different way, but basically what he was referring to, it was a plot hole. Like in the world, like, you know, that thing which can be fixed like with one magic spell. And he said like you can dive into all of those things, as far as I understood. You can dive into all of those things, and you will dive into this perfectionism, and you won't write. At some point, I understand that that's a debatable thing, because I make my I feel that my world is deeply layered, and I do a lot of like world building things that go beyond just these 7 kingdoms. Like truly beyond fantasy creatures and so on. I mean, I cannot explain it, but I go beyond this. In order to explain, I'll use an example. So, okay, even if we don't take the simple romantasy like Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is, like I said countless of time, world building there is definitely not the priority. Actually, I don't know what is priority in this book, but I just world building definitely not the one. Also, I do not support that character couldn't do something, for example, like Jax, and when it's convenient for the plot, the character realized suddenly that, oh, he could do that, I never knew. I also didn't knew. That almost feels like a forced thing in order to solve some plot holes. I read Alchemist last week at Saturday, and I realized that I feel that world building isn't it doesn't flows into the book. Okay, so it doesn't. When you read certain fantasy books, you almost feel that no explanation is actually needed. For example, if I take Familiar or Six of Crows and other fantasy works, world building comes it flows into the book. Like it we find out that we find it we find those things out naturally, like without feeling that I'm reading a history book. But in Alchemist it actually feels like this. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but actually when it comes to world building, it doesn't feel naturally. I mean, I see that author did attempt to make like this. I don't like to call it like this, because when I speak, I almost feel like I'm some kind of guru. I'm not. I like vocabulary to explain it in a normal language without it sounding like a current. You see what I'm talking about. So, I mean, the author does this thing which should have helped me as a reader to. Again, it sounds wrong. I can't help it. I like vocabulary, so I mean it with all the warm and kind intentions. All I'm saying. So as I read, I mean, she goes into that, which is like, it's not really. She like explained that religion. It's not really a religion. Like all of those, like they have these planets, and the planets are linked to the metals, and the metals to the certain bloodlines. I mean, I like the idea, but the way she explains the world building actually feels like the author is explaining the world building to me, and not that I'm finding it out. So it takes me to. I'm not saying that it's bad that you need to concentrate while reading, but I should really concentrate like I'm reading some. Well, I mean, I don't concentrate like this when I read some history document or anything similar, because it's still our world. But there it truly takes an effort to understand, and also these things mix up. I don't know, maybe that is just me, because I don't read a lot of fantasy because of books like Once Upon a Broken Heart. I like to read books like Animal Farm. I read Dostoevsky like countless of times. I recalled all of those things. This book I've read like I started every single one of these books, beside this one. War and Peace I didn't start it. Also, I'm changing my reading habit because it gets annoying. Until I didn't want to finish Alchemist, I don't pick another book. I don't read much of fantasies, so I read like I can call it a classics, just a fiction which is deeper, and because of it, But also, I read a lot of actual fantasies, but those fantasies are like very surface fantasies. I haven't read like truly like complex fantasy, like epic fantasy. Though no, Game of Thrones, for example. Take Game of Thrones. He's also like some kind of guru in fantasy. It's my type of writing, not my type of book, despite this book being an epic fantasy or dark fantasy, whatever that is, like complex fantasy. I still do not struggle to understand his world building. I can't say that it's a significant one, if you ask me. I understand everything, like all the kingdoms and political things. Those things I understand. But with Alchemist, it's truly difficult because maybe I'll manage to explain it this way. So, comparing to how I read dialogues and her monologues, world building is 10 times or more harder to understand than her monologues or the dialogues, anything that goes beyond, like everything that's except the world building. It's simple read action after action, there's some flashbacks and so on. I get those things, but then there's world building, which is like a huge they are completely different things. Completely different things on the understanding level. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, so anyway, I had a point and I lost it once again. Once again, that individual claims that people don't read books for world building. I am that kind of person who reads a book for a world building. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. No, I won't fully believe in it. World building matters to me, and where is this such thing when I notice that there is a plot hole? Well, at some point I understand that no author can be fully aware, sure that there is no plot hole, because, the huger the idea and all of those things, the more details you put into your book, there's the highest chance that there might be a plot hole. Of course, those things should be evaded, but not to close your eyes when. And that doesn't matter. People don't read books. Don't read the book for this. I read book for world building and for the story, for characters, and for the atmosphere, of course. Also, I'm not the person who would read just in word. Okay, so I warned you, if anything. This book, I don't think this book is for escapism. I think that's the word. You'll have to be a really trained reader to read my book for an escapism. I can't read it for escapism. Escapism. Here it is. So this book is, most fantasies are for escapism. Mine is not. It's like reading Kafka or Camus for escapism. It's hard. I understand. It might be, of course, because still reading books like this is a coping mechanism. Generally, if we dive too deep, everything we do is form of coping mechanism. Almost. There are definitely a lot of things. So that's why I don't claim that I'm more intelligent because I read books like this. Because that's just my form of escapism and coping mechanism. That doesn't make me more intelligent. I was talking about it. So my book, I warned you won't be able to read it like this. Maybe you will. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think, because it lacks truly. As far as I understand, like from my perspective, it demands attention and awareness while you're reading it, because if you don't pay attention, it probably won't make sense to you. Though, of course, I try to make it readable, because I'm still here to offer the ladder, like that ladder, so you could climb into into my world. Not just I'm in that cliff, and just if you want to, you crawl, and that's not my issue. Of course, I want to make it approachable, but there's limit. because I do not want to simplify it to the point that you don't think. Well, here it is. If you read books like Once Upon a Broken Heart, Carvel, and books like this, I don't know. What other books can I... Still, if you take, I think, Cruel Prince, I don't know if Red Queen, I don't remember. So if you read books like this, you probably don't think while reading this book, because author does all the thinking for you, plus over-explained it countless of times in case you misunderstood it. I don't explain things. I might explain it if I truly think it needs to be explained, because I, as a reader, wouldn't understand it. But if I, as a reader, I acknowledge that if I was a reader and I was reading this for the first time, and I can put these things that I know before together, then no, I will not explain it. I trust in you, and I believe that's the point of reading, actually, to think and to put things together. That's what I wanted to say. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can prove me wrong, because I see this. There is now this girl popular in Booktok. She claims. I mean, now everyone is hating her because she claims that Booktok is there's something anti-intelligent or something like that. I don't want to get it drawn into the drama. I don't care about those things. I don't care what people read. Not my business. Of course, at some point I still care, because that's the whole reading thing. I can't tell now that I like reading fantasy, because I get linked to books like which I called countless of times before. So, yes, I do not support reading trash and just to call that you are a reading person. Also, I do not support the argument, well, at least I'm reading. You can turn on the porn on the TV and, well, at least I'm watching like... that's basically the same thing. The reading person, where did the thing come from reading? Actually, I will try to explain it in one sentence, but I can make a different video about it. The reading actually is valued by how you analyze and that you read, because if you read, that means you analyze, and if you don't, that's like the basic thing when people hear that you read. But if you read books like Once Upon a Broken Heart or Haunting Adeline, books like this, there's even this Penelope Douglas, which is far worse than Haunting Adeline. And I just... don't ask me how I know about those things. And if that's not a reading, that's even worse. You're brain rotting, and plus you support creations like this. That's my opinion. I said it. I don't count you as a reading person, because what you read, it doesn't include thinking. And reading as an activity is considered intelligent because it includes thinking and analyzing. So yes, it does matter what you read. So anyway, that's a whole different topic. I don't remember how I went to this topic. So yes, that's the same girl. If you're in Booktok, you definitely saw her. I'm already nauseous. I got the point. And everyone just chooses it in order to get views, but yes. So anyway, even that girl, which is like into about this, she's pro-intelligent reading, or I don't know how else to say it. She reads books in order to escape. I don't read books in order to escape. I might read books in order to escape, but I believe that shouldn't be the value of the books. So even with that girl, I could argue. Because I don't support reading just in order to escape. You can escape but find something that is valuable for you. But if you're just in order to escape, then once again, I won't count you as a reading person. So anyway, I think I said everything. I hope I said everything. I went a bit too far, but I still think it was important to mention. The new thing I unlocked yesterday. For the first time ever, I cried while writing. Don't ask me. I mean, I watched countless of sad movies. Nothing bothers my ears. But this time, that was weird. That was truly weird. That was something I did not expect it. First of all, I'm not that kind of... like I said, I'm not a sentimental person. And I thought I won't be a sentimental writer. But I was writing a scene yesterday. And it brought the tears, and it felt so sad, and I cried, and once again, I never thought it will happen like this. I thought I might cry when I, for example, kill a character. But here, no one dies. No one dies. And that's the tragedy, actually. And it still brought the tears, and it just, that was weird. That was weird. I'm in aftershock. I mean, I cried. What an achievement. So, yes, and it was sad. I didn't plan even to write this scene. I actually don't know how it even came to my mind. I don't even remember how it came to my mind. I remember that I was sitting and writing it. Also, I don't even remember how it came to my mind. How all of this situation, I mean, usually I remember chain of thoughts, but here nothing. It's like a bland, and then hop, and I'm crying. So that felt weird. So if you want to know more of my opinion on reading, actually, and why it, I could share with my opinion, because I believe even that girl on Booktok is someone to look up to, because now she's some kind of guru there. She's still not my person, and she's definitely read more shitty books than I did, because in other her videos she counts like Penelope Douglas book, like other book like Gleam or something, like that Golden Cage there, and I heard about this book, but I never read it. I mean, I watched fan arts and I decided that I won't read it. She read it, and I'm thankful I haven't read that book. So still, so that was my week. Hopefully I will write more and more. I would like that, because I'm once again entering that flow state, and I don't want to lose it once again for a month or more. I mean, how long am I here? Yes, I do want to write further. I want to write more, and I want to write faster, because I see the far I'm putting this book away, I'm getting used to it, and I don't feel that energy as I did before. For example, that's what I noticed even with that scene. When I only started writing the first draft, it was a wave of emotions. Then I started editing details, and I kind of like marinated in that scene. It no longer brought that kind of emotion. I don't know if that's because I edited it too much or I added too much details, I don't know. Just no longer the same feelings. Though if you think about it logically, it should make a bit more feelings. Once again, I think about how I will fix it or not. I will experiment with it. I will try to write as fast as I can without lacking the depths. No, I know I can do that already, because once again, that parenting book I wrote. That's all, folks.